Hello, hello, hello.
What's up, man?
Oh, guys,
happening?
what's good? Today's episode, we've got Tafadzwa here, my amazing husband.
Mama, I made it.
My amazing husband. And what's our topic today, babe?
We're gonna be speaking about marriage.
We are going to be speaking about marriage. So we've been together nearly 7 years in April. You guys better write that down, our anniversary date. If you want to send us a gift, I'm joking. But our anniversary is on the 29th of April, 7 years of being together officially.
7 years of torture. I'm joking.
Babe!
I'm joking.
I'm literally the best thing that's ever happened to you. Yeah.
Now you actually are.
No,
Now
thanks.
you're literally the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look so happy.
I'm really happy.
And enthusiastic.
I'm really happy.
Okay. Anyways, 7 years deep. And then we've been married a little over 2 years now. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 2 years and 7 months, which has flown by.
Very fast.
So we just wanted to speak on marriage so far. And I think the first question that I have for you, babe, is how has marriage been so far for you?
I think, is it what I'd imagined it to be? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally everything that I'd in my head. It's basically, well, for me, it was a transition from, now being able to be under the same roof. No more goodbyes, no more, oh, why did you fall asleep? Or like
The phone. Because guys, no, Tafadzwa used to fall asleep on the phone all the time. Like, it takes him 2 seconds to fall asleep, and I don't get that. How can you just fall asleep?
I just feel like it just comes like natural. Like it's very natural.
Nah.
Like, it's not something that like you sit down and say, okay, let me sleep. But once it hits you, that's it. You can't turn around and
Me
go back to it.
personally, it takes me a couple hours to sleep.
It
You
does.
need to like unwind and then, think about a few things and then you sleep a little bit later.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
But everyone's different, so.
Yeah, not everyone is
But
different.
the transition from being boyfriend and girlfriend to actually calling you my wife and you calling me your husband and just being under the same roof, you know where I'm at all the time. I know where you are all the time, stuff like that. But it's been great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been probably the best decision in the last however many years. And, it's been a journey, a roller coaster. You have your ups and downs.
Yeah.
You have, you're not always going to be up. You're
Yes.
not always going to be down. There will be, I feel like we've been in the middle.
Yeah.
Like we've had just as much ups and just as much downs. So just in the middle.
I think we've had more ups though, babe,
Oh yeah, 100%.
than downs.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a high, like we've been here. And this is really low, but we've been like here.
Yeah.
And then this is like high.
So it's just been leveled.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're learning about the other person, but it's been great. And I've gotten to know you as a person, what you're like,
No, but let's speak about that though. Because, I feel like transitioning from boyfriend and girlfriend to marriage, it's a big thing. Because essentially when you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you're not living together. You see each other when you see each other, and obviously your best foot is always going to be forward. We're always going to see the best of each other. And when you're now in the same house, you're seeing someone's habits, whether they're messy, whether they're really clean, or whatever
or
it
whether,
is.
they do the dishes or they clean up to themselves. And
Baby, the first one I felt like that was shade.
it's not though.
You said whether they do the dishes.
No, I was just saying when you use something, what do they do?
Right.
Do they leave it there? Do they sweep rubbish and then leave it there and then collect it later? You know, do they?
It's supposed to stop.
What?
Right now, it really feels like if the shoe fits, then that's your business.
Not,
Because you're saying a lot right now.
No, it's details. Like details.
Very specific details.
Yeah, and like, you know, it just shows you like, yeah, like what's really important in this person's life. You know? Affairs.
But yeah, it's a completely different ball game when you now live together. Because also, it's not only maybe about like certain habits and stuff, but for instance, if I'm getting ready today to go and see my boyfriend, I'm going to be so excited that when we see each other, it's always going to be like smiles and things like that. But then living together and you're like this all the time, it's like you're going to feel the other person's stress. Obviously, a lot of stuff is now very combined. So whatever is their stress is also your stress. So, you know, energies do rub together and stuff. And sometimes it can be a little bit stressful. But it just really depends, like, what are your values and what's your core center of things on how you like come out of those certain situations, especially like emotionally, because bruh, emotions are a lot, aren't they, babe?
Yeah. How has marriage been for you? You haven't answered.
Oh yes, I haven't. Marriage for me has been really, really good. Like, I personally wouldn't have it any other way. And right now, yeah, I'm just thinking, if we were 7 years deep and you still hadn't married me, I don't know if we'd be together, can't lie.
You think so?
Yeah, we wouldn't. Because I'd literally be like, what were you doing? I feel like from the moment we got to a point where it just clicked for us, right? And we were both ready to marry. And when I was now feeling ready to get married, the emotions were so intense. And I can't imagine like having felt it on my own and then the person who's supposed to propose to me then doesn't do it for many years. It would have been so overwhelming. So I'm glad like we were on par with that. But yeah, marriage has been absolutely amazing for me. Just like building a life with you, because obviously we've been friends for so many years. So we've seen each other like in the gutter to like slowly building a life together and making a home for ourselves. And just a little life, you know, has been really nice. Building with you and loving on you and just...
I second that.
Yeah. So the other question is marriage all it's hyped up to be? So let's talk about real life versus social media.
I feel like, you know, when you compare like social media marriage to real life marriage, like there's a huge difference. Like it's not all happiness. It's not all like lit. But, you know, when you actually get to experience it, you realize, oh, there is like so many, you know, things that come with it. So many attachments. And as well as in the journey, you know, you're also learn about yourself as well. So, yeah, like, what am I trying to say? Like,
there's a lot of changes.
There's a lot of changes that come with it.
Yeah.
And it's not always going to be how it looks online.
Yeah.
You know, some changes could be for bad. And some changes could be for the better. And yeah, I think it's not the same. And you're not always going to show you. I mean, people are not always going to tell you what it's really like.
Yeah.
You know, it's like people will show you what they want to show you in it. However, I feel like there should be like an open space where, you know.
Yeah, to an extent. I think it's just important for you to have other married couples that you can speak to, but there needs to be like a different level of trust to be able to discuss certain things. Yeah, because with marriage, it's a different ball game. And I just feel like you can't do it alone. And sometimes you find that like when you are speaking to other married couples, you realize actually this stuff is kind of normal, because sometimes you're thinking like, like, why is this even happening, or things like that. So I think that's important. But you have to pray over the people that are going to counsel you, because some people just have different mindsets, different, morals and things like that. So, you go to the wrong people and it's just going to be absolutely like the worst thing that you could ever do. Because for me personally, I feel like marriage is so sacred that you can't just let any and everybody in. Like, it needs to be people who have the right intentions for you as a couple, people who are gonna counsel you the way that God intends for them to counsel you. You can't just be doing any and everything, because this is a whole different ball game. It's not like, I'm just going to be like, oh, see you later tomorrow. Like, this is my spouse. Like, it's a covenant. Do you get what I mean? So, yeah. But for me to answer that question, yeah, social media, marriage versus real marriage is obviously extremely different. But that's not like obviously anyone's fault, because you are going to show like the best of what you're doing in a marriage and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
sorry to cut you off there, but it's like you're always like, let's just say you work in an office, you're gonna dress like you're in an office, innit? And you're not gonna come like how you look at home.
Yeah.
So, what I'm trying to say is that
you show your best self.
Yeah, you show your best self, because you're not gonna go to the office in your pajamas.
Yeah.
You dress how.
Yeah,
yeah,
I get you.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
But yeah, sorry.
Now I've forgotten what I was saying.
Oh, damn.
They should just let me talk, because mom brain, is something different. Like, I forget things in 1 second.
We got the same, because I've got a dad brain as well.
You got a dad brain?
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
Sorry, what are we talking about right now?
You saying you've got a dad brain? That's not a thing.
When did I say that?
You just said it just now. Stop. But
what?
You literally said one, or you've forgotten because of your dad brain.
What are we talking about right now?
This is so annoying. But it's a completely different ball game, because like when you are experiencing real life, as in, I mean, for us, we've got a kid now, the stresses of parenting, maybe sometimes, people will go through financial stresses, work, things like that. Like, sometimes it is too much to handle that. Sometimes you can literally be arguing and stuff like that. I've seen so many couples talk about like, when you're arguing with your partner, meanwhile you're posting "love my babe" so much at the same time. But that is like the real life in it. That's what's happening, because regardless of whatever is happening in the real marriage, mama still love you.
Yeah.
We're in it together forever.
No, sorry.
Or in it together forever.
But yeah, with the whole it comes with attachments. Obviously, kids. That's I
mean, if you choose to have kids.
Yeah, if you choose to have kids, it's not, all flowers.
It's hard, guys. Please.
And yeah, you really get to learn about each other and how you react to certain situations. Because with a child, it's like, if something, let's just say the baby's crying, what are you going to do in that situation?
Yeah. Because sometimes you have like men who are so traditional that a child is the mother's, like, they don't do anything. They won't change a nappy. They won't, comfort the child when they're crying. Obviously, it's not so much now, but the other generations, that's what they were like. But some of the stuff that was like that before, a lot of kids would have taken it on. So possibly our generation, some men could have that point of view. So sometimes you'd be confused, like, oh, why is the dad not doing anything when the child is crying? But sometimes that's just how they are. So it is like such a big thing. And for us, it was really good. Remember when we were dating, when we had gotten engaged, and then we read that book that asked us so many questions, and your viewpoint about how you view family, how you view finances, how you view this and that, how you react in certain situations and things. So we really got a chance to speak regarding like how we see our lives moving forward. And I'd really recommend that book before you get engaged, because imagine getting engaged and then you realize, oh my gosh, we don't have the same same views about anything. How are we going to get married? Because I know it could probably be like really embarrassing to now cancel an engagement. But if you're now going through the questions and asking the right questions beforehand, then obviously that would be like amazing. And that was a book that we got recommended by Tafadzwa's brother. And I think we've mentioned it before. It's called, is it 101?
Yeah, questions to ask
before getting engaged or something like that. Yeah, and it was such a game changer for us because also I got to understand where Tafadzwa's head was at about a lot of things. And luckily enough, we agreed on a lot of things, right? We're quite similar on a lot of things. So even asked you things like how would you discipline your child and things like that? Do you discipline them? Will you beat them? Will you do that? Because imagine now you're engaged or whatever, and then your husband or your wife says, I'm going to beat my children, and you absolutely stand against that. What are you going to do in that moment? It's really, really tough because it will be like such a big thing in your marriage that you probably like always like argue about and stuff.
Yeah. Do you think like, did you see yourself in this position?
What do you mean?
Like from, let's just say when you were in like secondary school, did you see yourself as who you are today? Like a wife and a mother?
I think I always obviously wanted to be married. And I was also very maternal. So yeah, I did see myself in that. But obviously when you're young and you haven't experienced life, it's hard to like envision what it will actually be like. However, I did want to be married at 24 years of age, and I got married at 24 years of age. It just kind of happened. And also being a mum and stuff like that. Yeah, something that I've always wanted to do. Hence why like I'm super intentional with Azariah and stuff like that, because I just feel like although being a mum is something that's obviously accessible to a lot of women, I genuinely feel like it's my purpose to be able to raise a child in the way that God would want me to raise that child. So put in literally 150% into him rather than just being like, okay, cool, I have a kid and we just like flow through life. But everything that I do, not only for obviously our son or me being a mother, but also in marriage, like the things that we put forward. So like, you know, obviously our values as a family, the things that we just do, or the way we just like obviously like raise Azariah and the things that we're going to teach him and things like that, it is also very, very intentional. And I just think, yeah, this is how I would have imagined my life.
It's crazy because like when I used to, like, you know, like back in school, they will ask you, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? You know, like what's your plan? What's yeah. I always thought I was going to get married at like 28, 29 because it's what I'd grown up seeing.
Right.
Like you have everything first and then you get married. But as time went, you know, I just thought to myself, like, why am I waiting until
I have everything?
Yeah, or why am I waiting until I get to this stage? And it's like, you know, it's a lot of pressure on people because it's like they want to have everything first. You know, let me finish uni, let me get this job first, and then I can get married and then start having kids. But it's like you don't have to wait and follow what everyone else is doing. Yeah, and you know, it's in your own time because it came to me natural. Like, oh,
I'm ready now.
Yeah, why not go for it? And it's like, you know, if anything, I feel like my life became better once I got married. And it became even better when Zari came. It's like everything just worked out.
And what's that verse? Like, two are better than one, etc., etc. Yeah. Because it is literally true. Like, two, like heads are better than one. Yeah. And 100% agree. Obviously, it depends with your circumstances. But although we didn't have like absolutely everything, when we got married, life genuinely became better. Because the thing is, I don't know, like, the marriage is about the two of you, and life will be what you make it. And I just feel like as long as you have God in the center and you're getting like wisdom and guidance from the Holy Spirit, God will give you all the resources you need to get through life. And again, people's lives are so different. Some people can get everything together by 21, and some people won't get things together until they're like 40. It literally just depends, like, on environment, your circumstances, where you've come from, the things that you'd like to achieve. But for me personally, would I want to wait till I'm 40? Absolutely not. There's so much time that has been wasted. Obviously, there's people who wouldn't want to have kids, but they just want to get married. That's fine. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, Tafadzwa always says, like, he wishes he would have done this when, like, a lot sooner, right? Especially having a child a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would have been the right thing there.
Yeah. Like what I was saying, like, you know, well, personally for me, everything only became better. Like, when we were discussing marriage, I was probably still finding myself around that time, you know.
Same.
And, you know, I, like, where I'm at today, I did not even think I'm going to be where I'm at today in terms of, like, work-wise.
Yeah.
And, you know, when Zari came...
It became even better.
We thought about having Zari during COVID. Was it COVID?
What year was he born? 2021.
2021.
It was still COVID.
It was still COVID. And I think that year, like, I must have lost all my work.
Yeah.
But, you know, faith, as well as not waiting for COVID. Because imagine if we waited before COVID finished and then I said, okay, now it's time.
Now it's time.
But
like, guys, we literally went into it with faith. As in, obviously, when we're discussing about having a kid, I'd be like, yes, you'd be like, no. Then I'd be like, no. Then you'd be like, yes, and stuff. Until there was a moment where it clicked, where we were like, okay, I think let's go for it. And I remember, like, just praying for it. And I remember God just saying, like, don't worry about it. I'll provide. And the amount of blessings that came in abundance for this child was crazy, because, like, God is not going to say do something and then just leave you stranded. Because even me and Tafadzwa were looking at each other like, how are we going to do this? Because, like, a child is not something small. It's not something that is also cheap. However, with every single thing, God showed it out. Like, he really showed out. When you're living in God's will, life will be a lot easier. So I think the most important thing is obviously to have God in the center, where you are able to get wisdom and guidance on how to do certain things, like confirmation of, okay, we should get married now. Confirmation of, okay, we should have a kid now. Because sometimes what you're seeing in the natural is not what's happening in the spiritual. You're seeing, like, things for what they're young. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. Like, how are we supposed to even manage? But God will be like, I can manage for you. Like, it's fine, innit?
Yeah, and speaking about God, like, I think one thing I can generally say is that, like, he's never let us down.
Ever.
Like, it's, like, the amount of stuff that's happened, like, we've literally just gone into things with faith.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm at a stage in my life now where I'm just like, I don't question how things happen, why things happen, because I know that there's a good reason behind everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the faith that we have, like, we always come out of everything that comes our way.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my faith is even stronger now.
Is it?
Because it's like, you know, every time God comes through, God pulls through, you know, family, marriage, life, work-wise, God always comes through.
And always at the right time for us as well.
Yes.
Like, Tafadzwa can probably let you guys know, but before we lived together or anything like that, because obviously you're not together under one roof, right? I was a person who was so anxious about so much, isn't it? Like, it will literally, like, affect me so much, like, when a situation arises. But then being with a man who is so calm and collected and doesn't, like, stress or anything, you get that part of him as well, because you're learning to be like him. Like, you really, like, level me, like, you really, you know. So being with somebody who was just so calm, I became extremely calm. Like, I would say in that situation, you've been, like, a great help to me and such a leader in that, to, like, know, okay, cool, God has got us, but then you also have got me. And now we have little Azariah to, like, rely on us as well. And I think like I posted, you know, the triangle where it says God and then the husband, then the wife, etc., etc. And it is really that, like, I feel like you are my protector and somebody who's gonna make sure like I'm always okay in it.
Yeah.
But like now I'm no longer like anxious about anything at all. Like from where we've come from till now, it's a massive thing. So we both sit here in so much faith every single time. Like before I'd be so worried, oh my gosh, how are we gonna do this? So I'd be like, no, it's fine. And now it's like, what? If something comes, it's fine.
If you were to like picture this, like the way I look at this is, you know, the story of Jonah, you know, being swallowed by a whale and stuff. It's like, just imagine, you know, we're in the same situation. I'd just be there chilling.
You'd sleep.
Like literally take my blanket, like, like take me, man, like, where it is, telling you,
I would have been crying. I can't even cope. I can't do this anymore. And you'd be like,
and one thing I always say to you is that, like, God is not gonna send you anywhere without, like, He's not gonna say to you, I want you to go to France, and you're gonna be thinking, oh, but how am I gonna get there? You know, he will send you. You will get your plane ticket. How am I gonna say about you? Everything is lined up for you.
Yeah,
it's just about
you just have to listen.
How strong and your faith and stuff. And I wanted to say something. I wanted to give you your accolades.
For what? For being an amazing wife.
Yeah, because I genuinely feel like, you know, when like something is for someone, like mother-wise, like I feel like it came so natural to you. Yeah. And, you know, like with the way like I watch you with Zaire and stuff, it's like you're very intentional. Yeah. And proper. Like you wanna do this. You know, you wake up and the first thing you think, Zaire. It's like it's as if you've done it before. Yeah. Because it just comes natural to you. You know.
Thanks, babe.
And it's very natural. Whereas to me, it's like I'm learning Zaire. Whereas you fully understand him.
That's because I spend so much time with him, though, like more time than you, because I'm at home with him.
Yeah, you spend time with him, but everything has just come to you, like you've handled it so well, like you've done amazing.
No, you say that, but also you, because you know what? No, wait, let me say this, because so you need to see from my point of view, because you might not feel like you're doing so much, right? But as a dad, you're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Like, you're actually such an amazing dad. Like, I remember when Zari was so young, obviously, like, I'm healing this, that, and the other. Like, Tafadzwa would just find, like, solutions for a lot of things. Because sometimes as a mum, you might go into panic mode because you're thinking, like, with your emotions and stuff. And you just come with the solution and calm everybody down. And sometimes I'm thinking, like, how does he even know that? But as a dad, you literally go above and beyond. It's not just like, you know, just your normal stuff. Obviously, you feed your kids, you change him, whatever, but you literally go above and beyond for your child. It's not just like,
I just think I worry too much about Zari.
You do, and also that's natural. You're his dad.
Like, every time he has to go to sleep, like, I feel sorry for him. I'm just like, he's alone now. Like, I wish I could just
be with him.
Yeah, hold his hand.
There's one day that I saw it in Zari's cot. You went to sleep with him.
Yeah, why not? And like, I just want him to be in front of me the whole time, so that I can make sure that he's okay. Yeah, like, I want to watch all his steps, make sure that he doesn't fall. Yeah, make sure that he's not crying. Like, he's always happy, he's always smiling. Yeah, like, that's my goal. Yeah. And that's it. But you I'm 20%, you're like 80%.
No, that's not true.
Okay, I'm 30%.
That's not true, babe.
You're 70%.
No, that's not true. I think we both have our strengths and weaknesses, and
we
we put forward like our best each time. I think as a whole we've done a good job. We've done a good job. And I wouldn't like change anything how it's happened. Like, I'm so happy that I met you one day.
I'm happy that
I'm so glad we got together.
And one last thing,
yeah.
Like, you see, like, Nintendo, like, you're like, patience, you know, was always a problem.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
You're never patient.
What are we talking about patience?
No, wait. I'm getting to my point.
Okay, sorry.
One thing that's like stood out to me in there.
Yeah.
Like you were never like patient in it. Like you want everything there and there. But it's like with Zari, like he's taught you so much patience.
You think so?
Because I watch you. Let's just say you're feeding him.
Yeah.
And he starts like throwing the food on the floor and stuff. Like you'd think, oh, you're gonna get angry, you're gonna get mad. But it's like I always want to laugh in it because Zari will start throwing food on the floor. Then I was like, no, Zari, food does not go on the floor. It goes into our mouth. And then it's like he would carry on doing it, and you remain so calm. Like you've never like lost it with Zari. Like you've never changed your tone. Like literally, yeah. No, Zari. Food is not for the floor. Food goes into our mouth. If you're done, if you don't want to eat anymore, tell me, or like
I said, give it to mommy.
Give it to mommy, and then like you get to a point where he's throwing everything on the floor now. Okay, that's fine. Mommy will get you something to eat. And
I'll get you something else to eat.
Yeah, I admire that so much because like you're very like patient with him, and you never like lose it, and
But you know what? It's because like I look at it from this perspective. Let's just say someone just brings you a plate that you don't want to eat. Obviously, as an adult, you're going to be like, oh, actually, I don't want to eat that. Can I have something else? But he can't obviously speak, and he can't let you know what he's feeling and thinking. So he's thinking, let me put it on the floor because I don't want that particular thing. Yeah. And also, I think he's in a space where they're learning. Like if you throw something, he's interested to see whether it's still there. So he's throwing it for a reason. I was just reading on it. It's just a developmental stage. So I can't be mad at him because he's just learning something and he's just doing that. But obviously now we have an understanding. When I say to him, Azariah, food doesn't go on the floor, it goes in our mouth. He might still continue to do it. However, the second or third time I say it, he'll start to give it to me, whether he's putting it in my hand or putting it in his plate. Because another thing that I do say to him is, okay, let's put your food back in your plate if you don't want it, and that's fine. And he will cooperate with that. Then I'll get him something alternative. But it's just building that level of communication so that he's understanding. Because I feel like sometimes you can get angry and be like, stop it, don't do that, no. But that's how he's going to learn how to talk. With people, so I don't think that's a good thing.
I can see the results of you just being so calm with him, because now he's able to, when he doesn't want something, he will tell you. Yeah,
he'll show you.
He'll show you that I don't want this.
I don't want this.
And when he wants something, he'll also show you that he doesn't want this. And he doesn't. One thing that I also admire is that he doesn't like overreact.
Yeah, he's like really chill and calm.
He doesn't cry like for something. He'll literally bring this to you and give it to him. Unless
like he's genuinely like, I really want that, and then you take it away from him. Then but obviously he's a kid in it, so that's gonna be a given. But overall, I think we've generally done a good job. And
everything has been great so far.
We're killing it, babe.
No, you're killing it. Okay, we're killing it.
We're killing it together. We're a team, man. We're a team. But no, honestly, marriage has been, it's just been great. Obviously, like everything, there's always things that come up that may be a little bit difficult and stuff. But one thing that we always have to remind ourselves is the fact that we're not fighting each other, we're fighting the problem. Because sometimes you can easily be like, oh, why are you not doing that? But the level of communication has to be up here. Having God in the center also is like a very important factor. If you don't have God, you're going to be reacting in certain ways and stuff like that you shouldn't be. And you don't want to get to a level where, like, let's just say you're arguing, you get to such a disrespectful moment, because once you say certain things, you can't take them back ever. And also, like, you have to maintain the respect in each other, in the relationship to each other, because I can't imagine disrespecting you so much and then you start to see me in a different light. Because I feel like, anyways, if you have God in the center, things won't get so ugly to the point of no return. Obviously, this takes so much work. We've only been married 2 years, so I don't even know what's going to come in the future. But from what I've seen right now, obviously we haven't gone through like the worst of the worst things ever. However, it's just about constantly working and pushing for the final result, which is also unity between the two of you, and continually like loving each other unconditionally and maintaining a happy, good home, because it's now no longer about me and you, because we brought a child into it. So it'll be very important to maintain the love that we have, and constantly like showing Azariah what that looks like what the love of God looks like. So that just means like putting and God in the middle always in our relationship.
Yeah.
What?
Smile. I'm gonna like smile.
And you're very much allowed to smile.
Yeah.
But I think that was the chat. We initially started talking about marriage and started talking about other things in the middle.
Well,
but
things
I think
that come with it.
Yeah, things that come with it. I think the next like episode we'll talk about like the changes from marriage to becoming parents, because there's a lot that came with parenthood and a lot of things we generally didn't expect in it. Like some major challenges. I feel like right now we're kind of coming out the trenches and getting to a better like place mentally, emotionally, and sort of getting back in the groove. So yeah, it'd be good to speak about that. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
All right, sorry.